again, it is me, Etty, and I'm just about to be joined by Bronte.
Hello.
To do today times tables.
Oh.
Don't run away. Okay, so it's times tables. This is a really good way of doing them, a fun way of doing them. What I'm going to do is in the top corner, in the corner of it, or one of the corners, I'm going to have the times table that we're working on. So say we're doing the 2s or the 3s, it will have 3 there. So if you want to look at what we're doing and then come back to it, you can just scan along. You don't have to keep jumping around. You can just get to the bit that you're watching, find the bit that you want and carry on from there. The suggestion would be watch the whole thing through the first time or a couple of times. And then when you've done that, then come back and start doing it broken down. If you need to, you may well already have it, okay? But that way is the easiest way to do it. But most of it you will get in the first couple of runs or in the first run. Basically, we do times tables. We're only doing the 10 square, not 12. If you want to do 11 and 12, because some people don't do those, we're doing those in a different one. We're also doing those with another method of doing times tables, all the times tables, in one method of just doing like a little pattern. So 11s, 12s, and the pattern will be in the other part 2, basically. This one is just 0 to 10. We're going to be using games, stories, and rules. So if you know the rules, you know what the answers are. If you remember the story, you know what the answer is. Or you play like finger games and you get the answer. So that's how we're getting the answer to these. We will be able to do all 100 facts. Okay, actually it's not 100 because it's also got the zeros in there, so it's like it's more than 100 facts actually, because that would only be if it started on 1. We do all the facts apart from 1, and that 1 you have to go and learn that 1 fact. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Go and learn 1 fact, one times table fact. You poor you. Oh, no. Right, so should we get on then? Thank you for the cup of tea, darling.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Lovely. Okay, sitting on my notes.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so basically math is patterns, and it's patterns the way everything in life is a pattern. How we breathe, you think our heartbeat is in a pattern. Everything we do when we run, it's in a pattern. Everything, the seasons are in a pattern. Life is in a pattern. Math has something to do with everything, and that's why if you know the pattern of something, you can just do it. You can do it all, so you don't need to be worried about it. The other thing is, as I always say with maths, there are only 9 digits in maths. Everything is 9 digits. So you've got, obviously 0 is nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. That's it. All you need to do is know your columns, what column they go in, and that will help you to know what it's worth. 90 is still 9 and a 0. 900 is a 9 and a 0 and a 0.
It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Exactly. 10 is not really 10. 10 is a 1 and a 0. Exactly. Oh. Exactly. So basically, if you don't know your columns, that's the best way to get started, because then you really have a good grip on all of your things. Go to the columns video, okay? And if you want any of the resources on this, go to the website www.learningisfun.co.uk, and there will be a smaller version of this, one that's been filled out for you and one that has the blanks for you to fill out and practice yourself, okay? What I always say is get them the little plastic sheets, put it in the plastic sheet, then you can keep doing it with a felt tip pen and then rub it off when you're done. You don't have to keep printing them out over and over again. The resources are free. Go to the website, the resources are free. Certainly currently they are all free, so go there and have a look. Okay, so we will start with just showing you all the ones you don't really worry about doing. So that's the dog with her chew.
Being really
She's rolling around
strange.
upside down. Yeah. Go on, Cleegly. What are you doing, you little monkey? What are you doing? Naughty girl. What are you doing? Oh.
What are you doing, Tia?
Okay, so ping, just like magic, we have a certain amount of these filled out because these are simple, 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 simple. So we have a story that you need to remember, because there are actually 4 numbers that aren't as easy, 4 sums aren't as easy to do, but 3 of them we're going to do the story. So we're going to quickly jump to 4, Eleanor. So we call number 4 Eleanor. Usually number 4 can be done by other times tables because you can do them either side, which you'll see, but number 4 we call Eleanor, and she has 3 little stories. So 4 is Eleanor, and if you say 4 times 4, I'll show you here, you've got number 4 is Eleanor, 4 times 4. So that is Eleanor and Eleanor. They're a couple. So Eleanor and Eleanor have a baby. Eleanor and Eleanor drop the baby on the floor.
Oh no.
Eleanor and Eleanor drop the baby on the floor. You don't even need to remember the rhyme, but if you remember that whenever you see Eleanor and Eleanor together, the 4 and the 4, that they drop the baby on the floor. There's the floor, okay, and there's the little baby. Poor little baby, okay. There's the little baby. Drop the baby on the floor. So that is actually number 16. So Eleanor and Eleanor, drop the baby on the floor and you'll see number 16. Okay, we'll come back to it, don't worry. And then Eleanor, 4 times 6, is when the baby comes back again when she's grown up to Eleanor. She comes back, but this time she's big. She comes back to Eleanor for more, but now the baby's 24.
Oh.
Okay, so again, you don't need necessarily to remember the rhyme, but if you remember that when she comes back, Eleanor is only 4, but the baby is 24. She's big. So she's going to get something done about being dropped on the floor. And then Eleanor, of course, goes off and runs away. Eleanor likes to run. And this, number 8, is the circuit, the running circuit that she runs on. Yeah? And if you look sideways, it's like a 0 and a 0, like a ooh, ooh, ooh. Eleanor loves running too. Ooh, on her back is 32. So on her back is number 32. So just those 3 stories are Eleanor and Eleanor, when they're a couple, they drop their baby on the floor. You've got the floor and the baby, and that's 16. Eleanor, when the 6 comes to Eleanor, when she's older, she's 24. Eleanor's only 4, she is 24, the baby. And then 4 times 8. Now the 8 is Eleanor going for a run. Ooh. On her back is 32, or on her chest she's having a run. She's got number 32 written on her. You have to imagine it with imagery. So we will come back to those. Okay, we will come back to those, but we will carry on for now and just come back to you in a minute, and you will have those stories and you remember those numbers. So we'll start with the rule of 0. So 0 is the hero. Okay, so all of the zeros are done. So basically all the zeros at the top right here are done. When you learn the times table, you actually only have to learn half of them, because 0 times 4 is the same as 4 times 0, and all the way down. So 5 times 7 is the same as 7 times 5. So you're actually only learning half of them. So basically the rule is 0 is the hero. So whoever 0 goes up against in times tables, 0 always wins. So 0 goes against himself, wins. 0's like this. 0 goes against number 3. 0 times 3 is going to be
0.
0 times 10 is going to be
0.
0 times 375 is going to be
0.
Yes, it doesn't matter what the number is. 0 times 6,500,027.
Oh, 0.
There you go. So you can do all of those math sums, okay? It's just 0. 0 is always the hero. But the other one, number one has no fun. Number 1 is a little bit skinny, tiny, and doesn't win any of these battles. Number 1 loses every single time. So number 1 goes up against number 2. Number 2 is going to win. So 1 times 2 will be 2. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 9.
9.
You tired, my dear?
Maybe.
Had a little movie night last night. 1 times 10 is
10.
okay. 1 times 320 is
320.
1 times 5,001 is
5,001.
yes. So there you go. With those rules, you've already got all of these, all of these, all of these, and all of these. You know those now, okay? 0 is the hero, and 1 has no fun. Okay, so any math problem you come against that has a 0 or a 1, just go to those rules. After this, if we look at the 10s. Now 10 is another really simple one with its own rule. Do it down here. So basically, the 10s rule is that 0 is still the hero. So look at this. 5 times 10 is, so what you do is you just give the 0, because 0 is the hero, you give the 0 to the 5. So the answer is 5, 0, 50. So let's say 72. You don't even have to do it up to the 10 number. These rules go on forever. The rules for the zeros go on to any number. The rules for ones go on for any number. And the rules for tens go on for any number. So 72 times 10, any number you have times 10, 0 is still the hero. 0 goes and helps out. So 72 times 10 is 720. Always just add the 0. Very, very simple. So 6 times 10, what do?
You add the 0.
Add the 0.
6,
Exactly.
60.
60. Okay, so that means we have all of our 10s. We know those already, and that rule goes on forever. Okay, so then we look at the 5s. So I think probably most of you know your 5s. If you don't, they're very, very simple to do. You probably know your 5s if you're coming to look at this now, but on the 5s, either you do your 10s and you can half. The 5s always end, their rule is always ends in 5 or 0. If it's an even number, it will end in a 0, like 5 times 6. Then it will be, rather than 10 times 6 is 60, 5 times 6 is half of that, 30. It will always end in 0. And if it's an odd number, like 3 times 5, it'll end in a 5, like 15. But you can also just do the finger game for this, okay, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That's it, okay, very simple. Most people know their 5s. If you don't, just halve your 10s. There's your 5s and your 5s. So far, out of this, there's up to 10. So including the 0, there's 11 columns and 11 lines. So we're not doing our 11 times table here, of course. As I said, we'll do 11s and 12s and another way of doing things in a separate video. But what's 11 times 11?
132.
Is it 132?
Yeah. 11 times 12 is 132.
So what's 11 times 11 then? Can't
Oh.
be 100.
I don't remember.
You know all of your 11s.
I do.
So how do you do your thing? Do your normal way, the way you do 11s. Any 11s, what do you do? Think of it that way. 11, the 1 and the 1, and work out the centre.
121.
Good, okay. Let's just try this out. What's 11 times 53?
583.
Good. Okay, so if you want to go into your 11 times tables, they're really easy and you can do them up to any number. It's wonderful. And the 12 times tables, there's a method for that as well. So 11s and 12s.
11s and 12s
we'll do that
are
in
my
a different
favourite
video.
times tables.
Yeah, so we'll get this basic square first. A lot of people only like to do up to the 10s. Okay, so we have got 111 times 11, 121 things to answers to get here. Well, actually, with these done, we only have 49 left. No, stop. We only have 49 left. We have already done all of the others. Of 121 facts, we only have 49 left.
Really?
Just from those rules.
49?
That's much less than half even.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
49.
So we have done 72 already, just with this.
What?
Done. So 49 left to go. Okay, so I'm going to stop quickly here and just remind you of the 3 stories of Eleanor. So Eleanor and Eleanor, let's have a quick look again. Eleanor and Eleanor have a baby and they drop the baby on the floor.
On the floor.
Why would they do that? But they drop the baby on the floor. There's the floor and there's the baby. So 16 is 4 by 4. 4 times 6 is 4 is still Eleanor. The baby comes back, but this time she's big. This time Eleanor's 4, the baby's 24. And then 4 times 8. And the 8 is the running circuit. Eleanor's going running. Ooh! And what number is she?
32.
32. Okay, we shall come back to that again. You'll know that when they'll be very easy, those ones. Okay, so we're going to continue now with number 9, which is my very favourite. Number 9, there's 4 ways, apart from, well, 5, because you can just remember off the top of your head if you want to learn that way. But there's 4 other ways of remembering the 9 times table. So it's pretty easy. Everyone has their own method. I'll show you all 4 ways. You can choose the one that's easier for you.
4 different ways to
I love the 9 times table. So anything ever has, so if anything has a 0, you go to your 0 rule. Anything has a 1, you go to a 1 rule. Has a 10, you go to your 10 rule. They're the easiest. Or 5, you go to your 5 rule. If anything has a 9, go to your 9 rule, because after the 0s and 1s and 5s and 10s, the 9 I find simplest. You might not. I find it simplest.
So if you can't do one way, you can just go on to the other way. And if you can't do that way, you can do the other way. If you can't do that way, you can do the other way.
Exactly. Okay, my love.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So the 9 times table. So one of the ways of doing it is 3. Well, actually had it as an order I was going to do it in. I didn't write that down. Okay, so basically, first of all, if you have a pen and paper, you can do it this way. Don't I'm going to do it ways to do it without pen and paper. But if you wrote down, I've got something a bit darker. If you wrote down a 0, can you see that? Do it a bit bigger. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then wrote backwards. I know. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's your times tables for the 9. So 9 is one 9. 18 is 2 9s. 27 is 3 9s. 3 by 6 is 4. So 5 times 9 is 45. 6 times 9 is 54. 7 times 9 is 63. 8 times 9 is 72. 9 times 9 is 81. And 10 times 9 is 90, which you can also do with your 10s, obviously. So that's very simple. But if you're not writing it down, it's probably easier to do it this way, which is similar, but this is the way to do it best in your head. This is the way I always do it. This is the way I find it easiest. So basically, whatever number you're being times by 9, so say you're saying it's 5 times 9, then you look at the number, but say the number for it. So it's 5 times 9, it's going to be 40 something, okay? So 5 times 9 is going to be 40 something, okay? 7 times 9 is going to be, what's the one before 7?
6.
60 something. 9 times 9, what's the number before 9?
8.
8 is going to be 80 something. And how you fill it in is you just add the numbers up to 9. So 5 times 9 is 40 something. And what do you add to 4 to get to 9?
5.
A 5, so it's 45. And 6 times 9, sorry, 7 times 9, what's the number before 7? It's 6. What do you add to get to 6? Add to 6 to get to 9?
3.
6 and 9. 6 and 3 are 9. What do you add to 8 to get to 9?
1.
1. So 7 times 9 is 81. That's the way I find it easiest. So
Your earring's going to fall out of your ear.
thank you, darling. So yes, so 3 times 9, what's the number before 3? 2. So 3 times 9 will be 20. And you add it up, it's going to be 7. So it's 2 and 7 make 9, 27. That's the way I find easiest to do it. And then there's another way of doing it as well, which is the finger game. This is your favourite one, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you hold your fingers, it doesn't matter if it's this way or this way, it doesn't matter how it's more comfortable to you. But so when you're looking at your fingers, you can work them out, okay? So you're looking at your fingers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you wanted to do 3 times 9, you just take down number 3. 1, 2, 3. Fold down number 3. Whatever's this side is your 10s and this side is your singles, your units. So 20, and what's this side? 7. So it's 27. Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do it this way around so you can see. So say I wanted to say what is 6 times 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take down your 6. What have you got on the left of the one you've taken down? Is 5. So it means it's 50. And what's on the right? 4. 54. If you do, yeah, do you want to do one?
Yeah.
Hold up yours up here.
Okay.
So let's do 8 times 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm not very good at holding down my fingers.
Okay, that's fine. So she put down her 8th finger. What have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 72. And again, just with the other rule, they always add up to 9. Okay, so you put down, if it's 2 times 9, put down that finger number 2. It's 1 and 8, 18. If you add up 1 and 8, it still comes to 9. So just like the other one, it always still comes to 9 when you add them together.
I think
okay,
this is my favourite.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favourite, but your finger one used to be your favourite. There's another way of doing it as well, but I will come back to that in a bit because that goes along with how you do a few different ones. So the 9s, as we've said, there's basic knowing it, rote learning, knowing off the top of your head. There's doing it this way with the backwards. There's doing it this way where you count down by 1 and then count up to 9. And then there's the finger version, and then the one we're doing. So that's our 9s done. So 9, 18, 27. So what's 4 times 9? 4 makes it a 3. 30, add it up to 9, 6. What's 6 times 9? 6. What's the number before that? 5. 5, add up to 9. 5 and 4 is 9. 9, 7 times 9, if it's 7, it's 63. 3 adds it up to 9. 6 and 3 is 9. 8 makes a 7. 70, and 2 adds up to 9. And 9 times 9, 9 makes it 80, and then only 1 adds that one. So there you go for those, and we'll write those across here as well. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81 and 90. Okay, so we're now left with...
Can I grab my cardigan?
Yeah. We're now left with these, and these, although we're only actually left with half of them, because don't forget it mirrors. But even if we said it was all of those, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 squares of 9 we're left with. What's 4 times 9? We've just done our 9s. So 4, it must be 30 something. It's 4 times 9, so it's 30 something. 30, how do you add 30 up to 9?
6.
36. So we have 36 left. Okay, so 2 times table, as we know, is pretty simple as well. Basically 2 is just 2 of everything. So you just double it, or you just add it to itself. So 2 times 5 is 5 and 5, which is 10. 2 times 2 is 2 and 2, which is 4. 2 times 3 is 3 and 3, which is 6. It's doubling. Most people do know their times tables. So the 2s people know. So 2, 4, or just adding them up. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2 and 4. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that actually only leaves us with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25. But actually, it's only half of that, so we're left with 12 left. Let's continue. We're going to go on to 3s. Now 3s is a really no number. A lot of people find it really easy. Some people find 3 really difficult.
I'm not very good at my 3s.
I don't like the 3s. Okay, so, but you need to know your 3s, okay? So your 3s, many people just say the best way of learning your 3s is literally to know them. Just to keep practicing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, etc. Okay? There's not lots of them, but if you keep saying them, you do actually remember them. You just take a day out and do that, okay? But otherwise, a good way of doing it is like this. Okay, so we have you draw a square, make it into a grid with 3 boxes and 3 boxes, very much like one of these actually. Like draw a window.
Maybe I should use this.
Okay, and then in that window you draw, first of all you need to know is your top line, all these ones are worth 0. This is your 0 column, your 0 line. The next line is worth 1 and the next line is worth 2. Okay, that's all you need to know. We're not going to do the last one because it's a 10 times table and we know what the 10 times table is for all of them. So what's 10 times 3 or 3 times 10? You just go to the 10 rule. What do?
30.
You add the 0 onto the 3. It's 30. We don't need to do that. We'll just do the up to 9. Okay, so how you do this? You know that's 0s, that's 1s and that's 2s, okay? So what you do is you start on the left-hand side, as you always start on the left-hand side, don't you? So you start with English, you start on the left-hand side and you work upward. Rather than across, you start to the left at the bottom, you work up. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for example, if I said What is 3 times 1? You go to box 1 and it's 3. What is 6 times 1? Box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 18. What is box 8 times 1? You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the answer is 24. Now this is confusing initially, but all you need to do is write this box out a few times and then get people to ask you and go to it. And you will find that this will imprint in your head. If you do this today, you will know your times tables for 3 today. Okay, your brain will work that quickly if you just give it a pattern to follow. So always remember you've got the zeros on here, 1s and 2s, and then you work upward. Okay, you work upwards. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you just read them normally. So 5 times 9 is 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th box. Although don't forget, we already know our 9 times table. We already know our 1 times table, our 2 times table, and our 5 times table. There's not that many you actually want to be learning anyway. And as you'll see soon, you could be learning these in different ways. But anyway, so this is how you do your 3 times table. If you don't know them, you can do them by fingers or you can practice. So that's your 3 times tables. Do it with your fingers. 3, 6, 9, 12, and just learn it like that. Or use the box. If you use the box, you will start to learn it very, very quickly, I promise you. It's just the method of doing it. Play it back and do it. Just write that box a few times, okay? Okay, so I'll take out the 3s now. So we've just done our 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. See, a lot of them are already done. There's only these 4 that haven't actually already been done. So we've done these by doing the zeros, the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, 5s, 10s, and 9s. So 4 times 3, so 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So it's just those extra few that you learn when you do your 3 times table, because actually you already know the other ones. So we are now left with just these last little ones. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's not 16, it's actually 8. So we've got 8 more to do. So we'll go back to the 4s. Remember the 4s? Do you remember Eleanor is number 4? So yeah. This is why we need to, you see, because all of the other ones are already covered. It's only these 4 that are left. 4 times 4, 6 times 4, 7 times 4, and 8 times 4. So if you remember, do you remember 4 times 4? What happens with 4 times 4? Do you?
16, because Eleanor and Eleanor dropped the paper on the floor.
Exactly, and it is 16 because the line is the floor and the poor little baby is lying on it. 16. So we know that 4 times 4 is 16. And what about Eleanor when she comes across number 6? Do you remember that?
She's 24 now.
The baby is now 24, exactly. So number 6, Eleanor's always number 4. So you always know you're dealing with the other number. So Eleanor's always number 4, she's dealing with number 6. That was the baby on the floor. But now Eleanor's 4, but the baby's 24. She's big. So 24. And then 8. What about Eleanor? Number 4 times 8. Eleanor with number 8. What does she do with number 8?
She goes around the circuit.
She goes running. 8. Ooh. She's running. Ooh, she's running around. What number is she wearing? 32. 32. She's wearing number 32. Okay. Now, I will say, if you can't get these this way, it's fine. Learn them straight off. But I always find that these little stories are the easiest way of doing it.
This has helped me, yeah.
It has, yeah, because you didn't like those ones.
No.
So what you're left with then is that one. So we're going to, so basically, this is the one that you have to learn, okay?
Oh no.
This is the one, because I'm going to come to the, we're going to do these ones in a minute. You have to learn this one. Let me just fill it out on the downwards as well. So 6 times 4, so 4 times 4 we just done is 16. What's 6 times 4?
24.
24, because it's the baby coming back. And what's 8 times 4? And then all goes running around the circuit.
Yes, 32.
And she's wearing number 32. Okay, so again, all we're left with is, actually we'll leave it, it's just the one because it's the same number. It's 28. 7 times 4. 4 times 7.
Just got to know that.
28.
One.
This is the one thing that you actually have to learn.
Actually?
Is 7 times 4. 4 times 7. If you can learn that,
20.
All the rest of this you can do in games, patterns, rules, stories, finger games. This is the only one you just have to learn. Okay? Do you think you can do that one? Okay, so we're going to come back now to these ones here. So these are obviously, they're mirroring each other. So although there's 9 squares, there's actually only 6 to learn. So I've come to these ones last because you have to know up to your 5 times tables to do this. So if you don't, make sure you go and know them. and then come back just for this little bit, okay?
Okay.
So this little bit is for the 6, 7 and 8 times tables, but just those last little ones, okay? Just these 6 of those, because all the other things you know already clear up the lower ones and the higher ones. It's just these last little bits of them. So it's 6 times 6, 6 times 7, 6 times 8, 7 times 7, 7 times 8, and 8 times 8. They're the only ones now that you need to learn. Okay, so a way of doing it. So some people also say 6 times 6 is 36 because it's actually really easy to remember. 6 times 6 is 36. It's
6 times 6 is 36.
yeah, because the 3 is half of the 6, and the 6 is the 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Yeah, tell them, absolutely.
Okay, so, well, it's almost like yours. Almost exactly. But, so I take one of the 6's and I half it, and it's 3, so I know it's 30. And then I take the other 6 and I just add it on.
6 times 6 is 36. So you know it that way, okay, which only leaves you with 5 things. Or you can do it this way as well, so there's different ways of doing it. So if you can't understand this way of doing it, then what it means is you will have to learn these 6.
Oh my goodness.
But still, it's not that bad, is it? You don't have to learn all of these. You just have to learn that one. And if you can't understand this way of doing it, some people don't like this way of doing it, I'm about to show you. You'll have to learn these six facts. But out of all of the 121 that were on here, that's not so bad, is it? So, okay, so basically, we'll just write your one in as well. So 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 6 is 36. But you can also do it this way, and the other ones you can do this way. So again, it's the finger game, okay? So what you would do is you would number your fingers. Let me just do that by magic. Don't do this at home unless it's on stickers, please. Okay, so how we do this one is we say the question is, what is 6 times 8? You put together your 6th finger and your 8th finger. It goes up to 10, but we know our 10 times tables. We don't probably even need the 9. But anyways, you put the 6 to the 8. You can do it that way, 6 and 8 together, or you can do it that way, 6 and 8 together, because 8 times 6 and 6 times 8 is the same. You say 6 times 8, and then whatever there are below these fingers, and including these fingers, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, those 4 count as 40. And what's left above them? So you've got 2 here, and we've got 4 this side. You just say 2 times 4. 2 times 4, as we know through our 2 times table, is actually 8. So you've got 48 is 6 times 8. If you say, well, we know our 9 times table already, say you do 6 times, we'll do 6 times 9. Let's do 7 times 9, okay? 7 and the 9, put them together. The 7 number and the 9 number. If you do it with your, like this for a few times, you won't need the stickers eventually. So 7 times 9. So how many fingers have we got down here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, because you include the nut one you're using. And then these 2, because you include the one you're using. So that is 6. So that means 60. And what's above? There's 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3, so it's 60. 3 is the answer to 7 times 9. So one more. Now there will sometimes be, for example, 6 times 7. So what does that come? You've got the 3 here, this one, and this one. Whoops, come off. So those 3 makes 30. And up here you've 3 and a 4. So 3 times 4. The 3 times 4 is 12. You can't say 30, 12. What you do is just add those together. Add 30 and 12, and it makes 42. Okay, so as I said, some people love that method. Some people can't stand it. She can't stand it. She'd rather just learn those last 5. Okay, it's up to you, or find a different method. But basically, through patterns and stories and games and rules, we have covered almost all of these, and you're left with 4 times 7, or 7 times 4 is 28. Is the one you have to learn if you use this method. And if you don't use this method, then you just need to do these ones. But that basically is your times tables up to the 10s. And if you want to do your 11s and 12s and find another way of doing all of them, but in a kind of special way, then have a look at the other video. Come over and get the resources on www.learningisfun.co.uk. And you wanted to say something as well, didn't you?
I don't remember.
Well, come over to Learning is Fun as well, and if you go to our links page and our contacts page, you will see Bronte's own video channel if you want to just go and say hi and look at her channel. And also there is a channel where she goes and does educational things outside, like going to places and history, or
like
just having fun. Yeah, like just going out places. So that's quite fun as well. So there's those two channels you can have a look at if you want to. And there's obviously lots of other videos and ways to learn things in a fun way. So see you again hopefully, Essie and Bronte.
Bye.
Bye. Just a quick note that the VAUGN cube multiplication system is also another way of learning the times tables, completely different from what we've just done today. But the VAUGN cube system is one that many other people have used. If you want to have a look at that, I'll do a link on that below as well.